Ethan J back with this video, guys. I hope whoever's watching this, I hope you're blessed. We're gonna get into a training montage, and I'm gonna show you guys exactly every single move that I use to start bringing and building out foundational strength. Starting off with the Larson press. The Larson press minimizes activity with the leg drive, so you're focusing on your abs, your chest, your shoulders, and your triceps, man, and your shoulders, your deltoids. They're fantastic. This move really gives me a lot of confidence because it allows you, you're forced to stabilize yourself when you're on that bar, right? To figure out how to balance and then also how to rip out reps. This isn't a lot of weight, you know, and I'm not the biggest dude, but I'm just showing you guys moves in this series that really helped me get to where I needed to get to. Shout out to Thomas in the background for giving me a spot. He's a legend. He's a tank. If you guys ever want to find someone who's a mammoth, under 6 feet too, Thomas is the guy. Shout out. Check it out, the next move on the list, Zerchers. Actually, barbell back squats. Never really did leg work too often when I was starting out training, man, and I regret that because you don't realize how important your legs are when it comes to training. You know, like legs are everything. And as I'm recovering from the surgery, I still can't squat yet, but the minute I get back to full capability and I can load again, I'm putting 3 leg days in my weekly circuit. Leg days are phenomenal, guys. Don't run away from the barbell squat. Don't run away from it. Face it, you know, and just perfect your form. You know, get that belt out. I don't care who's watching you. You know, don't be afraid of taking it slow. And just like me, guys, I have super tight calves, jumping rope all the time and not stretching them out, and my hamstrings and my glutes don't get activated. This, I only realized this after squatting enough, because you realize, like, you know, you don't squat deep enough. You know, the angle is off. You'll notice that you'll have a hip hinge or noticing a pain in the hip, and from then you'll know, okay, I gotta improve this for my squat. And this montage really shows you guys, like last year, how hard I was pushing squatting for the first time. I really was forcing the issue. I was trying to squat as much as I could. Squatting is elite. It's an elite move. You know, quadriceps, hamstrings, hip flexors, gastrocnemius, soleus, your knees, right? Your knee joints. The pressure that comes from the bar going down to the ground actually stimulates new bone growth in your knees, right? And you can Google that, right? There is a scientific benefit of heavy resistance training when it comes to bone longevity. So I recommend doing these compounds. And yeah, I know it's 225. It's not that much, you know. Mind you, I'm maybe a buck 40 in this, about 140 pounds. So I'm doing more than my body weight, and that's for sure. Moving on, and I guess this is the fit for less special. Moving on, we're gonna do leg press. Now, a bit of advice: when you're stacking up leg press, man, really watch your hips. Watch that your back doesn't pop off the chair on the back. You want to have your flat back perfectly situated, your glutes right against the edge of the seat. And even watching this, man, I just know there's so much hip work that I've got to do. Like, as you can tell, I'm not really going full depth, right? I'm hitting 90, but it's just hitting 90, right? What I mean by that is the degree of the angle. So if you can work on this, add this to your routine for yourself, you're going to notice that as you get stronger and stronger, man, you know, quadriceps, hamstrings, like I said, your entire lower body works really well. And emphasis on this, why did I put this into this video, is, guys, work your legs, man. Work your legs. It's like the one thing that I can give you guys as advice, especially if you're young. If you're like 16, 17, 15, 20, 25, like in that range, like take every chance you can to work on moves that are difficult, because your recovery process is that much faster. A lot of my younger clients, I tell them the same thing. I'm like, hey, you know, if you're this young and, you know, you're injury free, dude, go out there and safely practice these compound moves. They radically shift the way that you train. So, compound moves, baby. Barbell back lift, hitting it back up, and you know, let this just be a little emphasis on why you guys should hit this as much as possible. You know, and you know what, man? Don't be afraid of hitting numbers that are kind of like not really cool to be looked at on social media. I don't take steroids, man. I don't do no drugs. I miss protein half the time. You know, I consume supplementation, but not to the degree where it's like anabolic, right? I'm not going to the point where I'm super stacking my body. The whole emphasis of my personal training brand is be a natural. Be a natural with the best that you can. And yes, I'm tatted up. I know that's not natural. But when it comes to what you're putting in your body, dude, be a natural, you know? And this is my results thus far. I probably could one rep max different numbers, but I stay within a healthy range so that my reps in reserve will allow me to train for the next day. I specifically like to train 6 days per week, right? Because first off, it's mentally fun for me. Second thing is I love the gym. You know, it's just one thing that I'd love to be in. And there's so many different moves to work. I always tell people my methodology. You have 630 different skeletal muscles working all at the same time. Some muscles and, you know, parts of your body are not going to work as fast as others. That's why you got to train them. You know, shoulder external rotations, hip flexor movements, deep squats, holds, you know, oblique, like so many different nuances, you know, the lower back and training that, you know, and in a week, you know, you could train everything, you could, but will you get everything to grow properly, right? And that's the beauty of the gym. That's why I train 6 days per week. Hitting back up with the Larson presses. This is a different angle. For those of you that don't know what a Larson press is, a Larson press is when you keep your legs completely immobilized while you're doing a bench press. It forces you to work on your upper body and your abs as well too. And as you can see, my legs are struggling to keep still. It's because you will shake as you start to hit. I'm hitting the 135 here. I think I got it for solid. I did 14 on the last one. I think I got this one for 10 or something. Add that to your routine, man. It's lethal, and you will see so much progress from that. And then again, you know, bumping it back up. I think this is really a push and a leg focused video. I don't really do too many pull movements yet, but I hope I added one into the montage. Phenomenal. So Larson press, can't stress this enough. I actually replaced bench pressing with Larson pressing because of the value that Larson press gives you. Right? Larson press is pure upper body strength. Larson press is pure abdomen control. It's stabilization on that bench, and yeah, I might not be able to rep 225 or 215 or 275, but every bench session I'm coming back stronger and stronger. This technique is eventually what I plan to tie in with the bamboo bench press. When you don't use the original hole for the plates on the 45 plate, but instead you use one of those holes to stabilize, right? Guys, remember, the more you can activate your muscles, the better, you know, for the long term, right? Stabilization muscles, balance muscles, and things like that. So I'm gonna be honest with you. In this segment, I recommend deadlifting if you're younger, but I'm not really a fan of deadlifting, and you're gonna see my form is not the best at all. Like I don't put it into my routine as much. I should, you know, because there's so many benefits, right? Posterior chain connection, you know, but as you can tell, I'm clearly rounding my back. I've never been a deadlifter. I've never been somebody that really pursued perfecting the form. I love working out, of course, but it's just something I never really added to my routine. And I do want to get coached on it eventually. Here we got the trap bar deadlift at Seneca. Shout out to Seneca out at the King campus. Here we're hitting a couple reps. Shout out to Danny. Shout out to Evan. Shout out to Oliver, man. You know, those training sessions were great with those boys. And going into Zerchers, you know, I'm pretty sure I added Zerchers earlier in this video, but if I didn't, guys, I'm going to tell you about the importance of Zerchers, man. Zerchers are full body utilization. You're using every bit of your body besides maybe your chest, you know, to stabilize this weight. You're using your shoulders, you're using your back, you're using your posterior chain to a huge degree. And bumping up 185 for the 5 here. This guy was a killer to do that day. I remember that session was brutal, but I never felt the level of strength that I felt and the confidence that I felt after starting to really get my Zerchers down pat. There's something about putting that weight in between the crooks of your elbows and the pain that just, man, it just hits different. And then here we go with the standard deadlift. As you guys can tell, guys, I apologize. My form is not good. So I'm telling you guys, this is more of a correction video, right? Don't make this mistake. As you can tell, look how rounded my back is on the bar, you know, and it's super rounded right there. And it's luckily enough I could muscle it up, but I'm not going to do that again. It's just not worth it at all. 315 here at this time I was about 152 pounds, so just about 2 pounds, 2 times my body weight. Not really happy with it because the form isn't the greatest, but if you're young and you want to perfect training, deadlifting is the way to go, man. It's get a coach, follow the form, don't round your back like this, and don't ego lift. Dude, you will put on so much mass. It's ridiculous. You know, I've seen some crazy mass stories with deadlifting, man, but also some injuries too, so be careful. And then we're gonna finish off, I think, with goblet squats. So I am a big proprietor of goblet squats. I think goblet squats are elite when it comes to lower body gains. A lot safer than back squats as well too, and you can load these pretty nicely. I like to use a plate, and I'll just rep them out. Here we're going for 100 for, I think it was 12, not too sure on that. But phenomenal leg move, works quad. It does everything that your squat does, but the difference is you're utilizing your core differently because you're placing the weight in front of you instead of behind you. I recommend doing different variations of different compound moves because that will only help your strength and your mind as well. Your brain will start to understand the movement functions. As I'm flashing and flexing 100, it's not really a big deal, but important to variate movements. And, you know, we got to go into the standard barbell bench press. So this is 195 for a single standard barbell bench press. You know, this is the old high school classic. You know, when you go to gym class, this is the first thing you go pick up. Phenomenal when it comes to confidence, when it comes to, you know, overall strength. And I'm at 152 pounds here at 195. So it's pretty cool to see that the strength is doing it not too bad at this moment. This is before the surgery. Wrapping up with another 225 squat. Yeah, another 225 squat. I guess the emphasis here with this is, guys, really focus on the leg work, man. You know, and even if you're not paying attention to me, pay attention to the buddy in the back. You know, you don't have to go to the gym and rep these big numbers. You know, you don't got to go to the gym and squatting is very uncomfortable. You know, especially if you've never been coached or trained on that professionally. You know, so start where you're at. You know, and just be humble, man. Go in there and just feel the range of motion and feel the comfort. You know, you should be able to comfortably get into motion and comfortably get out. And there should be a safe spot when you land at the bottom of your reps. And eventually, you know, you progressively overload. So, pretty cool right here, 225 going up. You know, you've seen a lot of 225 here. And this is shout out to Training Zone, you know, phenomenal gym based out of the Wexford area in Scarborough. Here, I think we go for a few more squats, you know, a few more squats. You know, I know this sounds kind of, you know, nuanced and repetitive, but I religiously skip squats for the past maybe 5 years of my life. It was only that last year where I took it so religiously, where I was squatting all the time. And I saw the gains, guys. I saw the progress. You know, the only thing that I had to learn was how to properly strength load powerlifting while still being able to run at a high level. Because prior to the injury, I had a 5K that I can get just about under 20 minutes. And that changes when you're, you know, ramming your legs up. But this video is all about helping you guys find moves that you guys can do in a gym to finally build confidence and build strength and build that assuredness within yourself. I hope this video gives you guys value on what to train, what to do, and what to look for. My advice is always start small, ask for advice. People are always friendly in the gym. Always look for ways to improve your form. Always consider your spine and your hips being very important in a movement pattern. And don't feel afraid to try a move. Don't feel afraid to try something that you haven't done before. That is the end for this video. If you can leave me a like, comment, and subscribe, I'm going to upload more videos on training, fitness, and how you can become the strongest version of yourself.